Dear distinguished speaker of the day, Mr. Marshall Goldsmith, our distinguished invited guests, representatives from our sponsors, our galaxy of past chairmen, ICA Dubai Chairman CA Naveen Sharma, ICA Abu Dhabi Chapter Chairman CA Suresh Panwar, other office bearers of both the chapters, our colleagues in the managing committee, members of the ICA Dubai and ICI Abu Dhabi Chapter, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and namaste to all of you. We are delighted to have you here to participate in leadership session titled, What Got You Here Won't Get You There, by Mr. Marshall Goldsmith. He is the world's #1 leadership coach. All of us here in the hall are leaders in some way or the other in our own capacity. And we wish to become great leaders to leave a positive impression on the others. In the golden words of Dr. Marshall Goldsmith, successful people become great leaders when they learn to shift the focus from themselves to others.
Somebody is saying this for the last 30 years, that what got you here would not get you there. Not only in America, but all over the world, in numerous conferences, seminars, and in the entire world. The entire world is listening, and today we will listen to him here in this podium. He is the pioneer in predicting future and showing the way how to unlock the full potential. Can you guess who is he? Dr. Marshall Goldsmith, world-renowned business educator, coach, writer of 35 books, and 3 more are coming in April, is with us today. We are fortunate to have with us Mr. Mohan Balrani, Dinesh Kothari Sahab, Vijay Malhotra Sahab, Abbas Sir, Ajay Malhotra Ji. Thanks, sir, from bottom of my heart for accepting our invitation to attend this event. I'm extremely happy and delighted to share that ICI Dubai chapter has won Best Chapter Award under Category 1. I congratulate each one of you. This is the result for the last 36 years of hard working. We have limited time, and I would like to update you about the upcoming events. On March 10th, in Roda Al Bustan, in the same hall, we will be celebrating International Women's Day. We have 4 great women speakers from 4 different walks of life. We have sports, Bollywood, art, fun, and fitness. We will be celebrating. Let me give you some information about the speaker. Our first speaker is International Zumba Master Trainer. There are only a handful of Zumba Master Trainer in the world. Madam Suchita Pal, who is the inventor of a masala bhangra, will be our first speaker. Our second speaker is Rubal Nagi. You must have heard that she is the one who has founded the Rubal Nagi Art Gallery in Mumbai, and most of the Bollywood stars use her paintings and other art items. Now I request CA Suresh Panwar, Chairman, Abu Dhabi Chapter, to come and address the gathering.
Good afternoon. Speakers of the day, invited guests, sponsors, representatives, past chairman of Abu Dhabi and Dubai Chapter, members of Abu Dhabi and Dubai Chapter. Naveen ji has said a lot about me. It's not me, it's like the profession. Today we are extremely delighted to welcome Dr. Marshall Goldsmith to address all of us in the 7th joint seminar. I had an opportunity to interact with Dr. Marshall last evening, and I'm sure that after listening him, you will definitely have a number of takeaways, which will help us in understanding and taking appropriate action to be a successful leader to reach the right place. I'll keep my address very short, and thank you once again, and hope after this there will be a lot of takeaways for you which will help you to become a better leader. Thank you.
My responsibility is to introduce the speaker of the day, Dr. Marshall Goldsmith. Gentlemen, a few words won't be enough to describe an outstanding personality, globally famous Marshall Goldsmith. A leadership coach, speaker, author, who has influenced thousands of lives and transformed hundreds of organizations. Goldsmith earned his degree in mathematical economics from Ross Holman Institute of Technology, Indiana, MBA from Kelly School of Business, and PhD from UCLA Anderson School of Management, Los Angeles. Earlier, he served as an assistant professor and then associate dean at Loyola Marymount University College of Business. Later, he entered the field of management education, co-founded his firms. As a coach, he worked with CEOs of about 150 top companies. He has been invited from all around the world for his talks, and the one he addressed had 19,000 audience. Thinkers 50 has recognized Dr. Marshall as world's most influential thinker for last 10 years. IMS vested Lifetime Achievement Award. Forbes listed him as 5 most respected coaches. UCLA Anderson School of Management, where he had his education, gave him the highest accolade of that institution, John E. Anderson Distinguished Alumni Award. Goldsmith is a pioneer in the use of 360-degree feedback. In 1996, he co-edited his first book, Leader of the Future. He has written 35 books and have been translated into 32 languages, and some gaining the #1 on the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal bestsellers list. Amazon, he is the only one author who has 2 books in the top 100, that is Triggers and what you got there won't get you there. A startling passion for Dr. Marshall. One viewer has read his LinkedIn blog for 4 million times. One viewer has gone and seen his LinkedIn for 4 million times. His book sold over 2 million copies, and visitors to his webpage is over 25 million. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to welcome Dr. Marshall Goldsmith to address you.
As was mentioned, my name is Marshall from Kentucky, went to school in Indiana, college professor, dean, and now I coach people, I travel around the world. The only hard part of my job is on American Airlines alone, I have over 11 million frequent flyer miles. Have any of you seen a movie before called Up in the Air with George Clooney? Have you seen the movie? Many of you have seen the movie. In the movie, he's trying to get a little card. I have the card. I have the card, and this always happens to me with the card, especially with women. I show them the card. They always say the same thing. You look exactly like George Clooney. So the first thing I do is I do speaking and teaching, coaching executives, writing, and I give all my material away. All my materials are online. If you go to www.marshallgoldsmith.com, all my materials are online. You may copy, share, download, duplicate, translate, use in business, charity, use any of my material any way you wish. My basic attitude is we're all going to be equally dead, so we might as well do some good. So if any of this does any good for anybody, please use it any way that you wish. The idiots in the book all have IQs of 150, and they're CEOs of multi-billion-dollar companies. And they'll all tell you one thing. Is it still hard to understand? Can you hear okay? That this stuff is easy to understand, and it's hard to do. Now, let us begin. I was interviewed in the Harvard Business Review and asked a question. What is the #1 problem of all of the successful people you have worked with over the years? What is their #1 problem? And yes, as I look into your eyes, I sense the problem in this very room. Many of the people I had dinner with last night are afflicted with this disease. What was my answer? Winning too much. What does this mean? If it is important, we want to win. Critical, we want to win. Trivial, we want to win. Not worth it. We want to win anyway. Winners love winning. In the game of life, you're all winners. It is incredibly difficult for winners not to constantly win. I'm now going to give you a case study of winning too much that almost all of my clients fail. Almost all of you will fail this case study. And when I say fail, you will fail yourself. You will say, what I did do is the opposite of what I know I should have done. Here is case study number 1. You want to go to dinner at restaurant X. Your husband, wife, friend, or partner wants to go to dinner at restaurant Y. You have a heated argument. You go to restaurant Y. It was not your choice. The food tastes awful and the service is terrible. Option A, critique the food. Point out our partner was wrong. This mistake could have been avoided had only you listened to me, me, me. Option B, shut up. Eat the stupid food. Try to enjoy it and have a nice evening. What would I do? What should I do? Almost all of my clients, what would I do? Critique the food. What should I do? Shut up. Everyone look up here. How many people in this very room have ever critiqued the food before? Raise your hands. Hands up. Yes, a room filled with food critiquers. Was that smart or stupid? Stupid. Very stupid. And as stupid as it was, I'm going to give you an example now that is so stupid, it will make that one pale by comparison. And yes, I will predict at least half of you have done this. Case 2, you have a hard day at work, a hard day. You go home. Your husband, wife, friend, or partner is there, and the other person says, I had such a hard day today. I had such a hard day. And what do we say? You had a hard day. You had a hard day. Do you have any idea what I had to put up with today? Do you think you had a hard day? We are so competitive, we have to prove we are more miserable than the people we live with. I gave this example to my class where I teach at the Dartmouth Tuck School of Business. A young man in the back raised his hand. He said, I did that last week. I asked him, what happened? He said, my wife looked at me. She said, honey, you just think you have had a hard day. It is not over. Help more, judge less. Help more, judge less. How many of us have friends and family members that might be happy if we help just a little bit more and we judge just a little bit less? Would any of them object to these changes? No. What's your first name?
Nimish.
Yes. What are the odds a year from today anyone in your family is going to say, we miss the judgmental you? Highly unlikely this will be a problem for any of us. Now, mostly younger or a little bit older? What do you think? Little older, right again, correct. Are they mostly poor people or perhaps the ridiculously rich? What would you guess? They're right again. They're mostly a bunch of rich old men. I was teaching my class at Dartmouth. A woman raised her hand. She goes, any single ones? They're mostly a bunch of rich old men. Now, there's a common misperception about rich old men. What is that misperception? Many people believe rich old men would not mind losing tiny little amounts of money. One comment per person. Why do most of the people say this exercise is positive, useful, helpful, or even fun, no matter what country I'm in? Why?
I think this was useful because, we were interchanging comments with people who we really didn't know. So one was not subjected to thinking that I'm going to be judged or someone knows what my background is or anything. So it was a very candid and a very forthright conversation.
Very important point. A common misperception of coaching is I have to have a deep knowledge of you to help you. Wrong. How many of you learned something interesting from someone you don't know? We don't have to know people to help people. Sometimes, as you said, we learn more from those we don't know. They don't have an agenda. They don't have a baggage. Thank you. You can sit down. Thank you. Yes.
I feel most of us are honest to oneself at least.
Yes, and by the way, you got to pick whatever you wanted to learn about. Nobody picked it for you. You picked anything you want. So you have ownership of it. Excellent. Got him.
It's focused on the future as opposed to the past with regret.
It's focused on a positive future you can create, not a negative past you can't change anyway. Everyone look up here. How many of us have made fools of ourselves in front of important people before? How many of us have done this? Yes, very good. How much fun is it to relive that fool-making experience? That's not much fun. Well, this is focused on the positive future you can change, not the negative past you can't change anyway. Sir.
Yeah, what we discuss in our group is that since we don't know the other person that much,
Yes.
we don't mind listening to him.
Yeah.
And we don't mind listening to him, and he also listens to you.
He listens to you. And as one other person said, no judging. If I would have allowed you to judge or critique each other, you would have spent twice as much time debating the comments as listening. How much do I learn proving you're wrong? Nothing. How much do I learn proving I'm right? Nothing. What percent of communication time is wasted on that? 65. Cut that out. Thank you, sir.
Yes, but no. Here there is written that, listening to suggestion without judging, which is very difficult to do.
Yes.
When a speaker is there on the mic, stage, you always keep questioning the statement and whatever. It is not that you accept, yes, whatever is being said.
That's
But
right.
your logic will keep applying your mind that, yes, whether it is correct or not.
That's right. And by the way, a good thing about coaching is create positive expectations. If you create positive expectations, people will feel positive things. But,
These exercises were really good. In our group, it was a mix of a lot of people, including my daughter. So we didn't had any protocol, and it was an open, fair discussion, and we all were receptive to all the feedback and comments, and it was very sincere. So very welcoming it was, and which we don't practice generally, so it should be done, I guess.
let's hear it for all these good people. Yay! Now, finally, a couple comments, and we'll take a break. One gentleman said, I listen better in this exercise than I almost ever listen in my life. I asked him why. He said, normally when other people talk to me, I'm so busy composing my next comment to prove how smart I am, I'm not listening, I'm composing. He said, it's amazing how much better I could listen when I knew I just had to say thank you. The irony, he had a Nobel Prize. A man with a Nobel Prize in a management class trying to prove he was smart. I said, you have one Nobel Prize. You might not win two. It's okay. Let's just be happy here. Now, a final misconception of coaching is, I have to be better than you or superior to you to help you, or you have to be better than me to help me. Wrong. How many of you near the end of the exercise began to feel the need to say to other people in this room, I have your problem too. I have your problem too. I have your problem too. How different were everyone's problems? And what's amazing, it doesn't matter what country I'm in. I've been to Saudi Arabia 5 times in the last 2 years. Their culture is different.
Question is, are you good digital leaders of the future tomorrow? Are you evolving enough? And a little statistic from Babson College in Boston is that 75% of the companies in the S&P 500 will be banished into obscurity by 2025. Yep. And 50% of the companies that will replace those 75% haven't been born today. Yes. So everything is to live for. So my question to you, Professor, is what advice do you give these people here in terms of evolving rather than just enhancing their inner management skills? What do they need to do to transform? Because otherwise, they're going to be banished into obscurity.
You know, we did a study called Global Leadership, the Next Generation, where we looked at the future of leadership. 5 qualities came up. One is global thinking. More and more and more, even if you're here in Dubai, you're going to have to think globally. We're living in a global environment, the global suppliers. Even if you're local, you have to think globally. Number two is cross-cultural appreciation, appreciating people from all around the world, diversity, not meaning one group. Then number three is called technological savvy, continuous learning on technology. You can no longer hide from technology. You may be an accountant, but you have to learn technology. You have to be a technologist. You need to have technological savvy, though. That's a fact for all of us now. And then the next one is building alliances and partnerships. More and more of the people in this room are going to have to build partnerships. In the old days, I worked for IBM. IBM was my biggest customer. They were the most admired company in the world. They had no partnerships, and we're proud of it. Today, they're nothing but partnerships. Somebody's here from Pfizer. I'm the coach of Ian Reed, the CEO of Pfizer. Pfizer is all partnerships today. Every time. Partnerships with people that are your competitors, your suppliers, your customers, everybody. They have to be. They have no choice. And then the final one I mentioned is what I call shared leadership. The leader is facilitator, not the leader is know-it-all. You can't be that much of an expert. You have to ask, you have to listen, you have to learn constantly from those people around you. So those are 5 changes.
Brilliant, thank you. Everybody's in there.